Howdy, folks. I'm that basket that you put all your eggs in, and now that was a mistake.
I'm Amber.
And here's some Reddit. Alright, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Leaving My Friend at the Airport? I'm a 20-year-old female, and my friend Emma, a 22-year-old female, recently went on a trip to California. She asked if I wanted to go on the trip with her because we would stay with one of her other friends, Lena, a 24-year-old female, and go sightseeing. I agreed, and we booked our tickets. And she commuted to my city, where we would be taking off from, and stayed the night. She told me her ticket back was a lot later in the day on the day that we got back to the city, and I told her not to worry, that she can stay with me and I'll take her to the station. I told her specifically that I wanted to go see the Golden Gate Bridge and the Japanese tea garden, and her friend's parents housed us at their house so we would have more room and privacy. She also picked us up from the airport, prepared gifts for us, and we excitedly told us that she's so happy to have us as guests. We saw the bridge twice, the Japanese tea garden, the Ghirardelli Square, Japanese town, the pier, and tons more, and took tons of pictures. Emma always asked if I wanted my picture taken in front of things and offered to retake or take more photos if I was unhappy with them. After the trip, someone had taken Emma's carry-on, which had everything that she brought. When I grabbed mine, Emma said, "OP, my carry-on isn't here." And I didn't really think much of it. It was a long flight. I was tired, and it was super early in the morning. She said that she wanted to try and find it before the person who took it left with it, and she hurried off. I didn't see her past customs, so I left to meet my boyfriend who was picking us up, and left without her. Eventually, I messaged her and told her that she could find her own way back to the station. Emma was confused and said that she was supposed to go back with me and my boyfriend since her train was later, and she just was waiting for the flight staff to get her carry-on back, and if I was leaving her there. I asked her what she wanted me to do, run after her? She said that she just wanted a bit of understanding that she had had her carry-on taken because everything that she brought was in that bag and it was a stressful situation. I snapped back and said that the trip that we went on wasn't even for sightseeing. It was just so she could see her friend. And she responded that we went to see everything I specifically wanted and more. Further, Emma said that Lena hosted us as well and drove us around the entire week while we were there, housed us, and her parents fed us breakfast in the mornings, and Lena paid for all the gas, the parking, and the tolls. I can admit that I was a little passive aggressive. But she went on to say that if my luggage was taken, she would be with me as support. I said, well, it's not my fault that she lost her luggage. Emma hasn't spoken to me since, and has since removed me off of everything. I don't think I was in the wrong, but am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Yes, you're the jerk. Your friend was kind enough to take you all the places you wanted to go. Her
Yeah,
friend put you up in her house and everything
yeah.
and you just dished your friend when someone took her bag.
Yeah, well, and I think the thing is this. OP, you outlined your expectations for this trip, and your friends accommodated you, and they went above and beyond in every single circumstance. And when it came to you to go above and beyond, you were like, nah. You're like, no, no, this doesn't concern me. Why does your lost bag that has all of your possessions in it concern me? And you kind of just left her. You abandoned her, and you're like, you can find your own way back, even though you promised her that you would give her a trip.
Mm-hmm.
And that's must be a really frustrating thing for her. And I can't blame her for, unfriending you, so to speak, because you didn't act like a friend here
Yeah. Well,
with friends like these. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I have a theory.
Oh, what's that?
I think Emma wrote the post.
So I did read some of the comments here ahead of time, and OP says that they are not Emma. They say, a lot of people have asked me this, but I am not Emma. So it does seem like that, right?
Like, because the way she points out, oh, Emma, like, took all these pictures for me and
Yeah.
made sure to take
Yeah.
extras and stuff. I'm getting vibes that, like, how is OP this oblivious?
Yeah, why don't we go? Speaking of that, why don't we read those comments and we'll find out how OP is this oblivious. And I Heart Words says, info. Are we sure that Emma didn't write this? See, Amber is on the same length as I Heart Words wavelength. And OP replies, a lot of people have been saying the same thing, but I am me. I just wanted to get more input on the situation. I only told my boyfriend what happened, so I only have his opinion, but I didn't think the situation was bad enough for her to straight up stop talking to me or leave me on red. And Begonia Blue says, the reason folks are saying this is because you have directly linked plenty of evidence as to why you're the jerk. It seems like this was written by the wronged party, Emma, instead of the selfish and entitled friend, you. And OP replies, that's fair. I tried to explain myself more in the comments, but I thought pointing out that her running off without me and just expecting me to follow her was point enough as to why I was upset with her and decided to leave the airport. Yeah, I could have called, but she could have called as well to figure out what we were going to do. And Blonsworth asks, so I'm confused. Could you do a better job of explaining why you might not be the jerk? And OP replies, she ran off without me when we landed to find her bag and didn't tell me where she would be or where she was going. Yes, I could have messaged her, but she could have messaged me as well. I also felt like that I was put on the back burner a bit when we were there with her friend, which is why I said that it wasn't a sightseeing trip. It was a trip to go see her friend. I voiced that I was upset about it, and I'm not wrong for being upset. So I think OP has definitely a strong opinion on the situation. They don't really feel like they did anything wrong, even though this trip did still end up hitting all the sites that they wanted to. Maybe they felt like they were just a third wheel and that they were not being taken care of. But they kind of explain it to the contrary in the comments. So let me know what you folks think. So, anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, our next letter is titled, am I a jerk for insisting on having my daughter be a flower girl since my fiance's 3 daughters are also flower girls? My fiance Adam has 3 kids from his former partners. Twin daughters, a 4-year-old, and another daughter, a 7-year-old, and also a son, 4-year-old, and I have a 5-year-old. He would treat all of the kids the same till the wedding planning came. He picked his son to be the ring bearer and his 3 daughters as flower girls, but he had no role for my daughter. I asked if we could add her to be a flower girl, just like her stepsisters, but he refused without giving me an explanation. He just kept saying short sayings like no. My daughter heard the girls talking about it and said that she wanted to be a flower girl as well, and I brought it up with Adam again. And he told me that 3 is enough to be flower girls, and that there were no spots left for my daughter. Because there is a regulatory requirement for all weddings set by the federal government that can have 3 flower girls and only 3 flower girls. Any more than that, you'll be slapped with a heavy fine and probably jail time too. I said we could make them 4 and add my daughter, and why not? And he said it just wouldn't work, and it wouldn't work for whatever reason. I insisted, and suddenly he snapped and told me that it was not a huge deal for me to be so worked up like this. I said that my daughter wishes to be among the flower girls and wear and do what they are doing, and his daughters aren't somehow superior to mine. He gave me a nasty stare and said, ha, so this is what it's all about. Yes. Yes, it is. Then he told me that I was being ridiculous and quite toxic with this my child, your child mentality. He insisted that he treats all of the kids the same and that he can't believe I would question that over some nonsensical issue as the flower girl. We had a full-blown argument and he said that I was acting immature by insisting that I was making this such a big deal and choosing this as a hill to die on. Am I the jerk for choosing this hill to die on, or am I being unreasonable? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, but don't marry him. He is showing you right now what his values are.
Yeah.
He does not value your daughter, and this
Yeah.
will reflect in your married
Yeah,
relationship.
you know how sometimes people change after they get married? He's showing you how he's going to change after he gets married before you two are married. He doesn't value his daughter, your daughter rather, as much as he values his daughters. Otherwise, he would consider how she is feeling in this situation. If she is feeling left out, then that's something that needs to be addressed.
And he's trying to get you used to dismissing her
Yeah.
feelings now, because it's and that's how, once you're used to it in cave now, then
Yeah.
he's going to, from here on out, she's not going to get as good
Yeah, yeah.
presents. Why celebrate her birthday? All
Yeah.
this kind of stuff.
It's gonna be like, well, it was just the circumstances. My daughter got a bike, and your daughter got a pair
Coloring
of, a
book.
coloring book, and it just happened to work out that way. I'm not favoring them. It's just that's how it is, and he's
Like,
gonna continue to be like, no, no, no.
there's no reason to have only 3 flower girls. If he was really insistent on having only 3, there's no reason why one of his daughters couldn't step down.
Yeah,
Like, all 4, 100% of his children are in the bridal wedding party.
yeah,
0% of yours
yeah.
are. Like, that is obvious favoritism.
Purposely not having your daughter in there,
hmm
it's clear favoritism.
It's deliberate, and again, I think he's setting things up so that your daughter will be minimized from here on out.
Yeah. So, anyhow, take care and good luck. And McCain says, do not marry this man. I mean, some cheaters change, but combine a cheating history with gaslighting and mistreating your child, the red flags are huge. I'm not sure what that cheating comment's about.
hmm
If he's refusing to include her for something as big as your wedding, how can you actually think that he won't exclude her for all of the small things in life? Imagine how sad it is for her to see her stepsisters all dressed up and with flowers, and she just has to sit and watch. What adult would do this? I had flower girls and junior bridesmaids because otherwise 2 little cousins would have been left out. You don't exclude children. Not the jerk, but if you let your daughter be treated like a second-class citizen, your family will be. Yeah, I think those are very wise words, and apparently there's some cheating that happened here
hmm
as well, and I think that that is also a red flag. I'm very curious about that.
OP mentions in the comment below.
OP replies, in terms of cheating, he admitted that he made a mistake and regretted it. He got therapy and he then got divorced to his second wife, but then they share custody. I just don't know what to feel about this anymore, and admittedly, I feel like I rushed into this relationship, but I thought it was because we had so much in common. Besides the kids, they all get along pretty well. That's a sad situation because OP's
hmm
like thinking that they finally found this person, and he's really just letting her down at this point in time. So I feel
hmm
bad for OP. I really do. And 82 Norway says, not the jerk, run away. Who's treating kids differently? Read your post again. He's trying to gaslight you, and I couldn't imagine how heartbreaking it would be for your 5-year-old. And OP replies, I don't know how it got to this point. We were arguing about a spot for my daughter to be a flower girl, and somehow, I'm treating the kids differently. Like what? My head hurts, and I feel like I'm spinning. Yeah, he's doing a number on poor OP.
Well, and this is how abusers operate. So it's not your fault, OP, that you didn't see this coming.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they abusers start out subtle, and then it gets bad. And like, now he is really showing his true colors. You have to believe him. He's not going to change. He's not going to do better.
Yeah,
Just, you cannot let your daughter be mistreated.
exactly. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got a beverage of choice here that happens to be tea, and Amber has a joke.
It is in the center of gravity and always invaluable. It is out of tune, but the first to be vocal. It is invisible, though clearly seen in the middle of a river. 3 join it in vice, and 3 are in love with it. In vain you will look for it has been in heaven a long time, and now lies in the grave. What is it?
Well, that sounds an awful lot like
Go ahead.
Socrates.
Yo,
Socrates.
you know the answer.
Socrates. Sounds like Socrates.
The letter B. Brian already got it when I was halfway through. Not even halfway through. I was a few lines in.
And I've got licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving it a like, and if you didn't, consider giving it a dislike. Happy Friday! We made it to the end of the week, and I hope you're all winding down, and I hope you all have a great weekend, and yeah, or the rest of your day. So we'll take care and see you all tomorrow.
Bye. It is in the center of gravity and always invaluable. It is out of tune, but the first to be vocal. It is invisible, though.
V, the letter V.
Yes. You didn't even let me finish. Bye.
You can finish. I'm sorry. I was just joking. You go ahead and restart, and then I'll come up with an answer.